A dialogue between Old England and New by Anne Bradstreet, New England. Alas, dear mother, fairest queen and best, with honor, wealth, and peace happy and blest, what ails thee hang thy head, and cross thine arms, and sit ill the dust to sigh these sad alarms? What deluge of new woes thus overwhelm the glories of thy ever-famous realm? What means this wailing tone, this mournful guise? Ah, tell thy daughter, she may sympathize, Old England. Art ignorant indeed of these my woes, or must my forced tongue these griefs disclose, and must myself dissect my tatterĺd state, which amazed Christendom stands wondering at? And thou a child, a limb, and dost not feel my weakĺned fainting body now too? Real? This physic-purging-potion I have taken will bring consumption or an ague quaking, unless some cordial thou fetch from high, which present help may ease my malady. If I decease, dost think thou shalt survive? Or by my wasting state dost think to thrive? Then weigh our case, if elt be not justly sad. Let me lament alone, while thou art glad. New England. And thus, alas, your state you much deplore in general terms, but will not say wherefore. What medicine shall I seek to cure this woe? If teahole woundles so dangerous, I may not know. But you, perhaps, would have me guess it out. What, hath some hengist like that Saxon stout by fraud and force usurped thy flowering crown, or by tempestuous wars thy fields trod down? Or hath Canutus, that brave valiant Dane, the regal peaceful sceptre from thee talon? Or is elt a Norman whose victorious hand with English blood bedews thy conquered land? Or is elt intestine wars that thus offend? Do Maud and Stephen for the crown contend? Do barons rise and side against their king, and call in foreign aid to help the thing? Must Edward be deposed? Or is elt the hour that second Richard must be clapped ill Teahole Tower? Or is it the fatal jar, again begun, that from the red, white pricking roses sprung? Must Richmond's aid the nobles now implore to come and break the tushes of the boar? If none of these, dear mother, what'll's your woe? Pray, do not fear Spain's bragging armado. Doth your ally, fair France, conspire your wrack, or doth the Scots play false behind your back? Doth Holland quit you ill for all your love? Whence is this storm, from earth or heaven above? Is elt drought, is elt famine, or is elt pestilence? Dost feel the smart, or fear the consequence? Your humble child entreats you show your grief. Though arms nor purse she hath for your reliefs such as her poverty, sigh it shall be found a suppliant for your help, as she is bound. Old England. I must confess some of those sores you name my beauteous body at this present maim, but foreign foe nor feigned friend I fear, for they have work enough, thou knowest, elsewhere. Nor is it Alciel's son and Henral's daughter whose proud contention caused this slaughter, nor nobles siding to make John no king, French Louis unjustly to the crown to bring, no Edward, Richard, to lose rule and life, nor no Lancastrians to renew old strife. No crook-backed tyrant now usurps the seat, whose tearing tusks did wound, and kill, and threat. No Duke of York nor Earl of March to soil their hands in Kindredal's blood whom they did foil. No need of Tudor roses to unite. None knows which is the red or which the white. Spain's braving fleet a second time is sunk. France knows how of my fury she hath drunk by Edward III and Henry V of fame. Her lilies in my arms avouch the same. My sister, Scotland hurts me now no more, though she hath been injurious heretofore. What Holland is, I am in some suspense, but trust not much unto his excellence. For wants, sure some I feel, but more I fear, and for the pestilence, who knows how near? Famine and plague, two sisters of the sword, destruction to a land doth soon afford. They for my punishments ordained on high, unless thy tears prevent it speedily. But yet I answer not what you demand to show the grievance of my troubled land. Before I tell the effect I'll show the cause, which are my since the breach of sacred laws, idolatry, supplanter of a nation, with foolish superstitious adoration, are lickled and countenanced by men of might. The gospel is trod down and hath no right. Church offices are sold and bought for gain that Pope had hoped to find Rome here again. For oaths and blasphemies did ever hear from Beelzebub himself such language hear? What scorning of the saints of the Most High? What injuries did daily on them lie? What false reports, what nicknames did they take, not for their own, but for their master's sake? And thou, poor soul, wast jeered among the rest. Thy flying for the truth I made a jest. For Sabbath breaking and for drunkenness did ever land profaneness more express? From crying bloods yet cleansed am not I, martyrs and others dying causelessly. How many princely heads on blocks laid down for naught but title to a fading crown? Amongst all the cruelties which I have done, O, Edward's babes, and Clarencel's hapless son, O Jane, why didst thou die in flowering prime? Because of royal stem, that was thy crime. For bribery, adultery, for thefts, and lies where is the nation I can paralyze? With usury, extortion, and oppression, these be the hydras of my stout transgression. These be the bitter fountains, heads, and roots whence flowed the source, the sprigs, the boughs, and fruits. Of more than thou canst hear or I relate, that with high hand I still did perpetrate, for these were threatened the woeful day I mocked the preachers, put it fair away. The sermons, yet upon record do stand that cried destruction to my wicked land. These prophetsal mouths, all the while, was stopped, unworthily, some backs whipped, and ears crept. Their reverent cheeks bear the glorious marks of stinking, stigmatizing Romish clerks. Some lost their livings, some in prison pent, some grossly fined, from friends to exile went, their silent tongues to heaven did vengeance cry, who heard their cause, and wrongs judged righteously, and will repay it sevenfold in my lap. This is forerunner of my afterclap. Nor took I warning by my neighbor's falls. I saw sad Germinal's dismantled walls, I saw her people famished, nobles slain, her fruitful land a barren heath remain. I saw, unmoved, her armies foiled and fled, wives forced, babes tousled, her houses calcined. I saw strong Rochelle yielded to her foe, thousands of starved Christians there also. I saw poor Ireland bleeding out her last, such cruelty as all reports have passed. Mine heart obdurate stood not yet aghast, now sip I of that cup, and just elt may be the bottom. Dregs reserved are for me. New England, to all you've said, sad mother, I assent. Your fearful sins great cause there else to lament. My guilty hands, in part, hold up with you, a sharer in your punishment else my due. But all you say amounts to this effect, not what you feel, but what you do expect. Pray, in plain terms, what is your present grief? Then let else join heads and hands for your relief. Old England. Well, to the matter, then. Tatterĺd's grown of late twixt king and peers a question of state, which is the chief, the law, or else the king? One saith, it'ls he. The other, no such thing. My better part in court of parliament to ease my groaning land show their intent to crush the proud, and right to each man deal, to help the church, and stay the common weal. So many obstacles comes in their way as puts me to a stand what I should say. Old customs, new prerogatives stood on. Had they not held law fast, all had been gone, which by their prudence stood them in such stead they took High Strafford lower by the head, and to their laud be spoke they held Lane Teehole Tower all England's metropolitan that hour. This done, an act they would have passed fain no prelate should his bishopric retain. Here tuggled they hard indeed, for all men saw this must be done by gospel, not by law. Next the militia they urged sore. This was denied, I need not say wherefore. The king, displeased, at York himself absents. They humbly beg return, show their intents. The writing, printing, posting to and fro, shows all was done, ill therefore let it go. But now I come to speak of my disaster. Contention els grown twixt subjects and their master. They worded it so long they fell to blows, that thousands lay on heaps. Here bleeds my woes. I that no wars so many years have known am now destroyed and slaughtered by mine own. But could the field alone this strife decide, 1 battle, 2, or 3 I might abide, but these may be beginnings of more woes who knows, the worst, the best may overthrow. Religion, gospel, here lies at the stake, pray now, dear child, for sacred Zionels. Sake, oh, pity me in this sad perturbation, my plundered towns, my houses'll devastation, my ravished virgins, and my young men slain, my wealthy trading fallen, my dearth of grain. The seed time'll come, but plowman hath no hope because he knows not who shall in his crop. The poor they want their pay, their children bread, their waffle mothers'll tears. Unpitied, if any pity in thy heart remain, or any child-like love thou dost retain, for my relief now use thy utmost skill, and recompense me good for all my ill. New England, dear mother, cease complaints, and wipe your eyes, shake off your dust, cheer up, and now arise. You are my mother, nurse, I once your flesh, your sunken bowels gladly would refresh. Your griefs I pity much but should do wrong, to weep for that we both have prailed for long, to see these latter days have hoppled for good, that right may have its right, though elt be with blood. After dark popery the day did clear, but now the sun INL's brightness shall appear. Blessed be the nobles of thy noble land with tatterĺd lives, for truthful's defense that stand. Blessed be thy commons, who for common good and thy infringed laws have boldly stood. Blessed be thy counties, who do aid thee still with hearts and states to testify their will. Blessed be thy preachers, who do cheer thee on. Oh, cry, the sword of God and Gideon. And shall I not on them wish Merrill's curse that help thee not with prayers, arms, and purse? And for myself, let miseries abound if mindless of thy state I e'er be found. These are the days the Churchill's foes to crush, to root out prelates, head, tail, branch, and rush. Let ells bring balls vestments out, to make a fire, their mitres, surplices, and all their tire, copes, rochets, croziers, and such trash, and let their names consume, but let the flash light Christendom, and all the world to see we hate Romel's whore, with all her trumpery. Go on, brave Essex, show whose son thou art, not false to king, nor country in thy heart, but those that hurt his people and his crown, by force expel, destroy, and tread them down. Let jails be filled with T-hole remnant of that pack, and sturdy Tyburn loaded till it crack. And ye brave nobles, chase away all fear, and to this blessed cause closely adhere. O mother, can you weep and have such peers? When they are gone, then drown yourself in tears, if now you weep so much, that then no more the briny ocean will overflow your shore. These are they. I trust, with Charles our king, out of all mists such glorious days will bring that dazzled eyes, beholding, much shall wonder at that thy settled peace, thy wealth, and splendor, thy church and wheel established in such manner that all shall joy that thou displayedst thy banner, and discipline erected so, I trust, that nursing kings shall come and lick thy dust. Then justice shall in all thy courts take place without respect of persons or of case. Then bribes shall cease, and suits shall not stick long, patience and purse of clients for to wrong. Then high commissions shall fall to decay, and pursuivants and catchpolls want their pay. So shall thy happy nation ever flourish, when truth and righteousness they thus shall nourish. When thus in peace, thine armies brave send out to sack proud Rome, and all her vassals rout. There let thy name, thy fame, and valor shine, as did thine ancestors in Palestine, and let her spoils full pay with intlorist be of what unjustly once she pulled from thee. Of all the woes thou canst let her be sped, execute to T-hole full the vengeance threatened. Bring forth the beast that rolled the world withals beck, and tear his flesh, and set your feet on L's neck, and make his filthy den so desolate to T-hole astonishment of all that knew his state. This done, with brandished swords to Turkey go, for then what is it but English blades dare do? And lay her waste, for souls the sacred doom, and do to Gog as thou hast done to Rome. O Abraham's seed, lift up your heads on high, for sure the day of your redemption el's nigh. The scales shall fall from your long blinded eyes, and him you shall adore who now despise. Then fullness of the nations in shall flow, and Jew and Gentile to one worship go. Then follows days of happiness and rest. Whose lot doth fall to live therein is blessed. No Canaanite shall then be found lain T-hole land, and holiness on horsel bells shall stand. If this make way thereto, then sigh no more, but if at all thou didst not see elt before. Farewell, dear mother. Parliament, prevail, and in a while you'll tell another tale.